Welcome back, everyone, to Wichita Vice.
Hey,
Yes,
here we go.
Awesome. Straight from the Fortress of Solitude, it's the off-brand Superman, Marquez Christopher Easton.
And climbing out of the Batcave, it's your Captain Chris with a K.
There's no punchline. That was awesome. I don't have a punchline for that yet. All right. Shazam.
Yeah, that could be.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
And this is your host, Carlos. You guys, we are going to talk about Ant-Man, the heroes and the villains. So before we dive in, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Hey guys, have you ever seen those little towns in Kansas and wondered, what's there? Let me tell you about a hidden gem in Salina, Sky Trampoline. It is the perfect place for both family outings and spending the day with friends. They have large open trampoline jump court, a ninja course, a setup to test or develop your parkour skills, and that's not even close to everything. Additional fun can be had in their foam pit, dodgeball area, a laser maze, and even an arcade. They also have specialty events with black light lit trampolines and a DJ. Sky Trampoline is located at 1820 South 9th Street in Salina, Kansas, and is open every day until at least 9 most days and sometimes even later. Give Sarah a call at 785-491-1118.
Before we dive in, you guys, do not forget our next show. We will do Shazam, the Fury of the Gods. We are going to give away tickets for that. So stay tuned and we'll tell you how to get those tickets. So let's go ahead and dive in here. Let's start off with the villains here. So we have Yellow Jacket. Now, Yellow Jacket was created by Roy Thomas and John Buscema, appeared in the Avengers issue 59 back in 1968. The abilities that Yellow Jacket has is he's size shifting, he's able to produce energy projection, communication with insects, and flight. Marquez, let's dive in a little bit on Yellow Jacket. Tell me about him.
Okay, Yellow Jacket was one of those villains that, he wasn't a villain at first. I mean, he kind of was a hero, and he went through a bad phase. He tried to get what I like to call it his Punisher phase, where he's an anti-hero for a while, and then he realizes, okay, yeah, that probably isn't the way to inspire people, So, yeah, but just the name Yellow Jacket, I remember when I first saw the character, I liked the color scheme, the black and yellow, the way that fit. I've always liked themed characters.
And I always thought that Pym took the Yellow Jacket mantra as like his Punisher version. It's, Ant-Man was his hero, and if Yellow Jacket, like Ant-Man comes for you, you're going to jail. If Yellow Jacket comes for you, you're going further under the ground than jail.
Yeah, and that was kind of what made the character interesting, that dynamic, that kind of borderline good, bad, willy won't kind of thing. But I forgot who, I can't think of the name of the guy escapes me now. Was it Bill Foster? He also becomes a character named Goliath, but for a short time he assumes the moniker of Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, Goliath is still part of Dr. Hank Pym. He is able to be. He was Ant-Man, then Yellow Jacket, then Goliath.
Yeah.
So during those times, but also Yellow Jacket. Let's talk a little bit about him in the movie. I mean, he was portrayed really well. That suit was awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, that was
like
a mean way to start it off. I just still don't know why he got suckered into doing MODOK. That's a story for another day.
That was.
Check out our Silver Cosmo movie reviews when we talked about that.
Yeah,
but in the show Yellow Jacket, like I said, he does have that kind of Punisher vibe.
Yeah.
And Ant-Man kind of gives you kind of that opportunity so he can take you. This guy, it's like you miss bail. He's got to come back.
Yeah.
So, but
I don't know if I don't know how many times it happens, but and this might have been the first one, but Rita Damara assumes the Yellow Jacket. It's a female Yellow Jacket in the mid '80s, in the Avengers number 264. So kind of a little twist. I don't know if that was one of the earliest, male to female twists. Where they took the male character and it became. I mean, it was passed on. It's not like she was created as the. I think she stole it.
You just part. And the suit was stolen a few times.
Well, we'll get into that with some other suits.
Yeah.
It seems like a fairly common story plot to pass on powers to create new versions of old characters, like the Rita Damara Yellow Jacket. She stole it and
became
But don't forget, she did participate with the Masters of Evil.
Right.
So she was a part of that
No,
group.
she was around for a while.
Yeah.
But in the comic books, you see that the Black Knight goes in. Speaking of Black Knight, I cannot wait when he reprises his role. We don't know
It'll be
yet
fun.
if he's going to be in the second, because it's not a green light yet if he's going to be in the Eternals 2 or not. But we know already Blade's already in the setup for that. So hopefully Black Knight will soon get in there. But anyways, yes, Yellow Jacket is just one of those characters that they just didn't enhance enough. I think they did the Marvel MCU did a great job making Yellow Jacket the villain, but overall,
Like his powers
went out too
suit.
fast. He went out too fast, and I didn't appreciate it.
Especially because in a lot of the iterations, the Yellow Jacket character, although they're typically portrayed as more of a villain, they turn the tables like a Punisher, and like they're ultimately good in the end. It's they kind of start out looking like a villain, but there's usually that time in their story arc to become a better person.
Yeah.
Towards the end, that's what happened with Rita Tomorrow as well. So it is kind of sad that that character is now gone. Like, I guess the Yellow Jacket, no, because they kind of tore that suit up too in that one. So now both the person that wore it and the suit are gone. But
Well, thank goodness they didn't follow the suits of the movie. They didn't follow. It looked like Freddie Mercury and Todd Rundgren in the Yellow Jacket suit. I wouldn't take it seriously. They did a good job giving it more of that stealthy kind of look with the helmet. With that's good. Thank goodness they followed that route. Let's go ahead and move on to a real sinister villain here. We got Ultron.
Yeah.
Ultron was created by Roy Thomas and also John McCune. Appeared in Avengers.
Moderate control over cyberspace, and he has, and he was the one that created the Vision, and the Vision was the reason why it was his vision of the future. The android that he created as Vision was what he thought humanity should be instead of what humanity is, and that was his plan, was to replace humanity with his vision, basically.
right.
So I've always liked the character. He was always one of my favorite Marvel villains. And like in the movies, they always kill the villains, and I just think that should be one of those guys.
I thought he
that
got
should just
shortchanged in the movie, man.
He should just be out there,
'Cause,
like
he even
said. You remember he even said in cyberspace, you can't kill.
And I feel like in the comics and in the cartoons and stuff, that's his, like, he escapes into, he was able to transport his his mind into some distant satellite and just rebuild his consciousness and
being
army.
connected.
I thought they kind of, it's not, I mean, sure they can defeat the guy, but I thought they got rid of it too fast. Like, they could have easily made him a Thanos level, multiple movie, takes everything you got, takes away a bunch of your stuff before you can defeat him. I thought, and one example of that I think is the What If series, the Ultron, the What If Ultron that actually, and he even comes and takes out the Watcher, like he gets that advanced. Like, that's actually how scary Ultron should be, and that's the level I thought they should have taken him in the movies. Because he's almost always lurking, kind of in Tony Stark's back of his mind, or Hank Pym's. I feel like there's often times where it's like he's mocking them from like reflections and stuff. Like,
and that's the thing. And that's the thing about tech-based characters such as Ultron. They always seem to be improving. They only get better.
And
like,
even when you think you've beat them, you've just knocked them down a long rung. They're just going to rebuild, and That's why I'm like, what they brought him. I felt like they brought him in too soon into the Avengers world.
Yeah, they kind of did. They really did.
Without giving him a chance to come back. Like, okay, you knock him down, but
yeah,
he's send him off to space and he comes back with this fleet of war.
And it was Hank Pym that originally created Ultron.
Absolutely.
It was not Tony Stark.
You're right. I spoke a little bit.
Yeah. But just to kind of reiterate that shift in the creation of
maybe
Ultron
that why he wasn't as good in the Marvel. Hank wasn't in the computers at that age.
Yeah, he originally created him to guard supervillains.
I was gonna say in his big, not the shrinking city, the
big house.
The big house, which is a shrunken
it was
jail.
To be in the negative zone. The negative zone is an alternate reality that is comprised entirely of antimatter, I believe. And he created this prison in there. And
Ultron was basically supposed to be the guard.
Yeah. And that's
or the entire guard system.
Yeah, exactly. It was a series of Ultron robots. Ultron 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth.
That was awesome that they were portrayed in the Doctor Strange, the third movie. Was it the third movie, right? That was the second one. No, it was the second one, the second Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
You remember when they were taking Doctor Strange and all those Ultron?
Yeah.
That was amazing. And also in further series, I mean, his body becomes animated, just like Wolverine.
Yeah, which is
that's what I'm saying. Like he becomes so unbeatable, and I guess you can always bring him back, but I don't know.
I think the movie, the voice of Ultron, that was awesome. When they had all the Avengers there, and he was just telling them. I mean, he hates humanity, and the thing is in the comic book series, I mean, he's just trying to find a way to destroy humanity because he doesn't like them. He finds them inferior. So indeed, he was just a menace, and especially in the cartoon series of the Avengers, there's a couple episodes where Ultron was just beating up on everybody.
Yeah.
He was taking everybody out. But in this one here, I'm glad that we were able to link this up with Ant-Man, because if it weren't for Ant-Man, especially Dr. Hank Pym, he would not have been here. So we'll give his respect and just say, hey, you know what? It was your fault. It was your fault. This is what you did. You created him. So, all right. Well, you guys, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Hey guys, it's Chris with a K coming at you to let you know about a couple of my favorite podcasts, Silver Cosmos Movie Review and Wichita Vice. Join us in Silver Cosmos as we go in-depth analysis and galaxy-expanding reviews. And also Wichita Vice as we dig deep into all of our favorite comic book and sci-fi characters and storylines. Again, that's Silver Cosmos Movie Review and Wichita Vice.
Now let's move on over to the hero side. So we have Ant-Man's sidekick, the Wasp. The Wasp was created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Ernie Hart. She appeared in Tales to Astonish back in 1963. Her abilities is she has insect telepathy, size manipulation, and flight, which is very special.
Yeah.
So I'll make it as simple as that. All right, Marquez, tell me about the Wasp.
Yeah, I think if the character was here right now, I don't think she'd appreciate you calling her a sidekick.
That's what I was gonna say.
But okay, we'll go with that. But no, she in the Avengers animated series that came out back in 2011, she has stingers, little energy zaps that she can get. I thought that was a nice little addition to the character. And the flight, the way, like I say, I've always liked themed characters. They give her the wings and stuff like that. But they made her like this quirky gamer girl kind of thing in the cartoon, which I've always thought the Wasp was a serious, like a fighter, like a Black Widow type of fighter, just with a suit that could.
I've always seen her as someone that's trying to prove her, like punching up type of deal. Like she's a hard worker. She's not going to sit back and she wants to fight. She wants to.
Yeah, she'll rush into any fight just to show, hey, look, I could do this.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah. And then, like I say, Janet Van Dyne, she's the love interest for Hank Pym, and originally, but then it's Scott Lang. I guess eventually becomes in the movies that they swap Pym for Lang. So I don't know as far as like the extent of her powers. Can she, are her energy blasts lethal?
I think in the movies I thought she shot the little shrinking disc, the disc that makes them shrink.
So that's about the
I
extent.
thought the stingers were more like a shock, like getting tased type
like
of deal.
tased. Okay, so
And
it's
if you're a big baddie, they're just like, whatever, get away from me. Like this doesn't even.
Yeah.
It's not even annoying. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But I've always liked that she has those two abilities. That she regularly has the ability to fly, which is something that Ant-Man doesn't have without the help of his ants. And then she has the stingers, or like at least some form of projectile weaponry that she's usually attached to, which gives her a little bit of extra pizzazz, I think. And she's kind of, at least, well, I think actually in both instances, whether it's Janet or Hope, she's the, I'm not going to say sidekick, she's the partner. She's the partner to her, the person she wants to be with. She's fallen in love with, or whether it's Janet and Hank, or Hope and Scott. So they use their powers to do all the good stuff.
Yeah.
You just want me to say Ant-Man's boo?
Yeah, that probably will.
No. All right.
But I mean, she's I think it's just like her and Ant-Man have to kind of be together, because they're normal people and not necessarily superpowers. I mean, they have the ability to shrink and grow big and stuff, but they're not like, it's not like Iron Man suits.
No,
it's not a suit that gives them indestructibility or anything. They get knocked out all the stinking time.
Yeah, and they
the little flicks like bing.
Yeah, they do get hurt in the suits. Yeah,
we need to put a sound effect for that. But I mean, let's dive in a little bit more in her character story. In her character story, Janet Van Dyne, she was the daughter of a scientist that was killed by an alien entity. So, in seeking for revenge, she got a hold of Dr. Hank Pym, and he promised her, hey, we can make this happen. So with her ingesting the particles and him training her about the technology that he had, and he gathered up, made her suit and everything, and she became the Wasp. So the Ant-Man Wasp. So what an awesome dynamic character. Now the Marvel MCU did put it together to make it a little different.
Yeah.
But indeed, the character that portrays her in the movie, awesome. And then maybe perhaps if they did a TV series and then give a little justice to Michelle Pfeiffer's character, that would be awesome. Maybe do a little something a little retro.
Little quantum thief.
Kind of like remember like in the movie Watchmen, the daughter of the comedian, when it talked about her mom when she was that character.
Oh, Silk Spectre.
Kind of just give that kind of theme.
Okay.
I think that'd be kind of
that'd be a nice little addition to that story. I mean, I definitely think that would kind of spruce it up a little bit.
I would like to see maybe even kind of like they did with Agent Carter, kind of a flashback series on even Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne getting together, because she always, at least like in the cartoons and stuff, she was always messing, like they'd be sitting around and she'd be acting like she's flirting with one of the other Avengers. She's just trying to get Hank, because he's so focused on his work all the time, and she's just trying to get him to. She knows that he cares for her, and they know about that, but she's always trying to get him like riled up, or trying to get him out of his science brain. And I just think that'd be a fun interaction going back and forth.
So you're saying she was flirting around with Thor too much?
I don't know. It might have been just enough to get to wise up. It looks like.
But indeed, they do make a colossal team. And the thing is that I did like her that when she faced off against Ghost in the movie, in the Wasp. So she's indeed an awesome character to see, and especially in the cartoon series, she's a funny character. Yeah. So we will now talk about the man of the hour. It's Ant-Man. Yeah. Ant-Man was created by Larry Lieber, Stan Lee, and Jack Kirby. He appeared in Takes to Astonish, issue 27 back in Tales to Astonish, issue 27 back in 1962. So we know that we are going to be talking about Scott Lang. So for all our comic book fans out there, we're going to talk about Scott Lang and not Hank. We will talk about Hank later on. We'll do a special show for Ant-Man itself. But in the meantime, we'll talk about Scott Lang. And Scott Lang, of course, donning the suit. He's able to have strength, agility. He's got telepathy with the ants.
Mm-hmm.
And he's crafty.
Yeah.
A former thief. So it's not bad. He's got it all there. So let's go ahead and dive into Ant-Man. Tell me a little about Ant-Man, Marquez.
One of the things I like about the character's abilities, just the technical part of it, the Pym particles themselves, the properties, they have the ability to increase and decrease the space in between atoms. That's what causes the shrinking and the growth. So this is what surprises me. You're still the same density, just more dense and compact when you're in the small.
Right. That's why you still have that same
strength,
punch power
and stuff. Yeah. But then again,
jump punch.
Yeah, but it's that whole force times mass equals acceleration.
Right.
So if you have less mass with the same force, it's still going to be less.
Right.
And then if you grow, you have more mass. But even though the mass doesn't change, it's just the atoms
more
in
condensed.
between. Yeah, you know what I mean. So if
I feel like I'm in
that,
chemistry class.
but no, you could. You argue semantics and stuff like that all day long. But I always thought that was an interesting way to, instead of just saying he magically shrinks.
Right.
They actually tried to put some sort of scientific depth to the character's abilities, and from a narrative point of view, I thought that was really cool.
I think that's something that Marvel has always done pretty well, is use a strong science. But obviously it's fictional and made up, but they try to say, no, this isn't just magic.
Yeah.
There's actually a reason that he can shrink and grow.
That's
he
right.
was because as a person he thought of this and was able to create it, not he was born with.
Exactly, and I even think they're even currently they changed Doctor Strange in the comic. They say it's not magic; it's willful manipulation of reality at the quantum level. So I think that the fact that Marvel tries to stay as scientifically correct as they can, it just makes for a much more interesting comic book story, if you will.
And I really like Scott Lang's version of Ant-Man. For one, because he's not, even though I do like the science and stuff, that he's not the science brain behind, he's I don't know how it works, but I can make it work.
Yeah.
Which is great. And he's even able to push the boundaries because of that kind of ignorance on the science.
Yeah.
But he's also got those street smarts, like the thief thing, stuff for thieves, that makes him, again, think outside of the box when it comes to tackling incredibly complex problems like giant aliens attacking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't take necessarily a straightforward scientific thought. You got to react and quick thinking, and so I think his ability, his natural abilities, lend towards that superhero aspects, fighting those things. And he's got, then you have the tech, the suit that obviously is going to boost all those abilities. So,
well, indeed, in the comic book, Chris, what happened is that he was just normal guy like anybody else. Successful at the beginning, but he struggled because in the comic book, Cassie had a terminal illness. Something was going on, and the thing is that he got hired on by Stark Industries, so he has already crossed paths with Iron Man. And the thing is that with her medical bills and things racking up, he couldn't afford it on his salary. So what he just, like you said, he had to think outside the box. He said, you know what, I'm just gonna have to go back to old times, and he's just gonna have to go in there and steal. And so he was able to steal Dr. Pym's suit, with the original Ant-Man. Now, in the comic books, what happened is that he was attacked by someone very big guy.
Yeah.
And so in that time, when he went back in, because he remembered the plate number and everything where the guy attacked him at, in the vehicle that he rode off. And in that time, when he went back in, after he stole the suit and did all this, he went back in. Well, the guy outbeat him because he didn't know about the suit. He was still learning here and there on the suit. But in time, after he helped him out, the lady that he rescued, they were able to get Cassie situated. So and the story goes from there. Now, as I mentioned in the prior show, that because of Ant-Man and the Wasp being together there, they are the ones that gave the name, she gave the name the Avengers.
Yeah.
And Ant-Man was that kind of like, hey, we should all be a group together. So Ant-Man plays a critical part in merging everyone together. Now, as the comic books proceed, yes, he was killed. He's had some twists and turns. But when you look at the story of this, I think Ant-Man, you've got to grow to appreciate he helps out the little guys. And the little guys is the Ant-Mans and the ants. And also,
he's kind of almost like your local level superhero, even though he's always fighting something bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's not like Spider-Man taking on the local guys and big guys. He's almost always exclusively. I don't know. I feel like he's not. He's like Avengers level almost all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, they need
when
him.
he straps up. Like
yeah. That's the thing. He's, when it's time to do it, he's there.
I'm all about crossovers when you deal with villains here and there, but maybe I'm old fashioned. I'm kind of like, say for example, like Daredevil. I like him when he's facing off maybe against the Kingpin,
Bullseye.
Or Bullseye. I like where they stay in their realm of characters, but then when they go out of it, I mean, I can only tolerate to a certain degree. I don't know if I'm being biased.
So who's Ant-Man's main?
Well, Ant-Man's main rival, I mean,
it
could be Ultron because Ultron's still.
Yeah, but that's not Scott Lang.
Oh,
that'd be Pym's.
I would say. It's tough. He doesn't really.
That's what I mean. Like
one,
he's always just popping up as hey, we need help. Call Ant-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not doing anything, guys.
It sounds like the CW when you have the Flash, Supergirl, and Arrow when they're crossing each other.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like. So, but indeed, I mean, the movie was great, and like I said, follow the movie, you guys, over there on Silver Cosmos. But you guys, that concludes the Ant-Man. So next up we are going to do is Shazam. Yeah. So the next show we're about to do is Shazam. And also we are going to do tickets giveaway for Shazam on Vice.
Fury of the Gods.
If you follow Silver Cosmos, we're going to give away tickets for Creed 3. On this one, we're going to do Shazam. So there, we're going to, just like I said, tickets for 2. And we are going to give you a gift certificate there at the movies. Now, if your movies don't support gift certificates, we'll figure something out. All you have to do is like, subscribe, put your name on the comments, and then we'll do a drawing there. So before we leave, any shout outs?
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thanks everyone out there for listening, guys.
I want to say, first of all, thank you guys for being here. It's just great to see you guys again. Marquez and Chris, thank you very much. And of course, the guys behind the scenes, thank you. Delby Designs, thank you, Eric, thank you, Powell. And also, I want to give an awesome shout out to someone that listens to our show, Tom Badgero. Last time I almost butchered his last name. Tom,
what's up?
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking your time. You and David giving me opportunities to keep thinking on how do we get our show better. As well, let's give a shout out to Variant Comics, Marvelites, and also our local comic book store, Prairie Dogs. Go follow them as well. If you need to get your comic books, go out there. Go to your library. The thing is, when you're getting away from the basics, looking at comic books, reading them, it's just kind of cool. It's cool.
Fun.
And I'm almost pushing 40. Yeah, I know, that's 40. What? But it's just the kid in me, and I just love it. So, but I want to thank friends and family. Thank you guys so much for following. Also, a special shout out to some good friends here, Carolita and Dewan. Hope they're doing well in the family. Thank you guys for tuning in to the show. To my friend Gutta, and also Julian Owari and his family. Hope everything's well out there in Virginia. And then other than that, thanks for tuning in, and tune into the next show when we will talk about Shazam. We're out.